This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Rafael Sanchez in for Nicole Griffith. Our Weather Now camera network giving us a window to the world outside. And if you go outside anytime this weekend, prepare to sizzle like bacon. The heat, the humidity are now settling in. Let's get the outlook now from meteorologist Kyle Mounts without the bacon as I get ready for my Sunday brunch, Kyle.
And Rafael, we got plenty of sizzle. We had it out there this afternoon. Look at all the areas hitting 90 degrees, 95 this afternoon in Muncie, 90 in downtown Indianapolis. And still this evening, we have temperatures in the 80s in many locations, including Indianapolis at 82 in the Circle City. It's 79 for you in Martinsville and 76 in Bloomington. Storm Team 6 radar. We've had a couple of isolated downpours out there this evening. At this point, the rain's not all that heavy. These are drifting toward the south and east fissures. You've had a few rounds of rain this evening. You can see a few more of those. Northern Shelby County and north of Rushville at this point. Should just miss town as it slides off to the south and east for you. Tonight, partly cloudy, just that isolated downpour. Temperatures not cooling very much. We'll be into the lower 70s, so that's where we will start off your Sunday. And yeah, we get back into this daily chance for some showers and thunderstorms, but you notice that chance is really pretty low. We'll talk about how that will impact this heat coming our way in a few minutes.
Now at 11, we often hear enough is enough when it comes to violence. From the city to churches to the community, many groups are now offering options to make sure that people, young people, stay out of trouble this summer. RTV6's Cameron Riddle reports on a festival focused on being a part of the solution.
Summertime. It's a time to sit back and unwind. But these days, a summer afternoon is no stranger to gun violence and tragedy. That is exactly what Indianapolis community leader Keith Richardson is hoping to change with the Stop the Violence Festival on the city's east side.
This killing has to stop. It really does. You know, I'm trying to give these kids a basketball or anything, a football, anything. Let them know that, you don't have to pick up a gun to solve problems.
Inside Gardner Park with something for kids of all ages. That something is a positive activity, an alternative designed to keep the area's teenage boys out of trouble and in front of positive male role models. Richardson says organizing the event was less of an idea and more of an opportunity he knows the community needs.
I'm tired, man. I am tired. I'm tired of the mothers suffering. The dads, both sides. I mean, one son kill another, or both sides hurt.
This is something that we absolutely care about. Stopping the violence in our community is something that's really takes a lot of attention during the summer months. One of the answers to some of that attention is increasing activities, positive outlets, and that's what Stop the Violence is.
The men who organize this event say their main goal is to teach the young men here that there is more that you can do. Instead of picking up a gun, you can pick up a ball. And that's a message mothers here say their sons need to hear.
I think it's absolutely amazing that we have so many male role models out here that are actually, taking these kids underneath their wings and showing them the way, which is what we need.
You watch the news, you hear what's going on. Anything to keep your kids busy and outside of any mess is always a good thing.
In Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle for the news, Channel 6.
Metro Police say a burglary suspect drowned in a West Side retention pond after running from officers. Police responded to a burglary at the clubhouse of the Waterfront Terrace Apartments early this morning. At least 2 suspects ran from police. One of the suspects went into a retention pond and drowned. Fire department crews later recovered the body. 2 juvenile suspects were arrested on suspicion of burglary. Police have not released the name of the person who drowned in this incident. New tonight, an Anderson woman is dead after a serious crash today in Madison County. That crash happened just after 11 this morning near State Road 128 and County Road 200 West. Witnesses say 54-year-old Cynthia Davis was driving erratically before the crash and almost ran a motorcyclist off the road. Her truck then rolled over several times, ejecting Davis and a passenger. Davis died on the way to the hospital. The passenger went to IU Health Methodist Hospital. We don't know that person's current condition. Tonight, the Marion County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding a retired canine. The 12-year-old dog has been missing for more than 2 days. Police say she was frightened by fireworks and escaped from her enclosure. The canine was last seen in the Canby area. If you have any information, you're asked to call authorities. That number is 317-327-3811. Deputies add that the former narcotics canine is not a bite dog and is very friendly. She has leg issues and is microchipped. A warning for pet owners as temperatures begin to soar beyond 90 degrees. Indianapolis Animal Care and Services is seeing an increase in calls regarding animals being left outdoors. Now keep this in mind. There is a Marion County ordinance requiring all pets to be brought inside in a temperature control facility when temperatures reach 90 degrees or higher. Pet owners are also encouraged to watch for the following signs of a possible heat stroke involving their pet, which can include panting, staring, warm, dry skin, and a rapid heartbeat. The end is near for the Amtrak Hoosier State passenger line. Tomorrow, it will make its last trip between Indianapolis and Chicago. That's because the $3 million annual state subsidy ends tomorrow. The Hoosier State line began back in 1999. It had been running 4 days a week, but Governor Holcomb says the subsidy of about $100 per passenger was too high. There is another Amtrak-operated line going from Indianapolis to Chicago that runs 3 days a week. At the end of the G20 summit in Seoul, South Korea, President Trump held a long press conference where he answered questions on numerous topics, including his latest invitation to the North Korean leader. Here's ABC's Tara Palmieri with all the details.
President Trump extending an impromptu invitation to Kim Jong-un on Twitter ahead of his visit to the DMZ on Sunday.
I understand that we may be meeting with Chairman Kim.
During a long, wide-ranging press conference after the conclusion of the G20 summit, the president not hesitating when asked about potentially stepping into North Korean territory, something no other U.S. president has ever done.
Sure, I would. I'd feel very comfortable doing that. I would have no problem.
Not calling it a summit with the North Korean dictator, but a handshake.
I'll shake his hand. We get along. There's been no nuclear tests. There's been no long-range ballistic tests. Gave us back our hostages, which was great, and a lot of good things are happening over there.
The president was asked if it would be a bad sign if Kim doesn't show up.
No, of course I thought of that, because I know if he didn't, everybody's going to say, oh, he was stood up by Chairman Kim.
As for the trade war with China, an apparent truce as talks continue.
I think we're going to be strategic partners. I think we can help each other.
The president also questioned about former President Jimmy Carter's remarks, suggesting Trump's presidency is illegitimate because of Russian meddling in the election.
I won not because of Russia, not because of anybody but myself. I went out, I campaigned better, smarter, harder than Hillary Clinton.
President Trump met with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday. Their first meeting since the release of the Mueller report. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
In our Democracy 2020 coverage, Democratic presidential candidate and South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg took a break from the campaign trail to attend a peace walk in his city. This comes after a South Bend police officer shot a black man to death during a confrontation earlier this month. Buttigieg has faced criticism over a policy that lets officers determine for themselves when to turn on those police body cameras. Critics say this policy gives officers a perfect setup for police misconduct. The officer in that deadly shooting did not turn on his body camera. Next on the news at 11, a toddler has gone missing. His mom told police she put him to bed and then he was gone. Tonight, that search continues and the mother is behind bars. Also ahead, painting the town with pride. Neighbors have a colorful way of showing their commitment to their central Indiana city. Kyle?
We've got plenty of heat and humidity in our forecast over the next several days. How hot that combination is going to make it feel. You're watching RTV6 News at 11. Now with the People First warranty.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
More local news at 11. Shots rang out near Washington Square Mall earlier today. Police say a person suffered minor injuries. The shooting happened around 2:30 this afternoon. The victim was taken to the hospital for treatment. As the search continues for a missing 2-year-old Virginia boy, his mother is now in police custody, facing 3 counts of felony child neglect. Here's ABC's Karina Mitchell with the details, all new at 11.
Police in Virginia now believe a 2-year-old boy missing for almost a week is dead. Late Friday night, announcing an arrest in the case.
We are arresting Julia Lena Tomlin, 34-year-old Hampton woman, the mother of Noah, in connection with his disappearance.
Julia Tomlin initially said she last saw her son Noah around 1 a.m. Monday morning when she put him to bed, noticing he was missing when she went to check on him around 11 a.m. Tomlin reporting his disappearance to police about a half hour later. The FBI and several local law enforcement agencies joining in the massive search for the little boy.
We believe him to be deceased. This leaves us a little bit speechless. But the search for Noah continues. We'll never give up hope.
According to state court records, Tomlin served several months in prison in 2010 for felony child neglect. She's now been charged with 3 counts of felony child neglect in the disappearance of little Noah.
It's been long hours, and every single one of them have been dedicated to this mission.
The police chief saying this has affected everyone who has been helping with the search, adding they will not stop until they find Noah.
We ask that everyone keep Noah and those that love him in your hearts and your thoughts as our officers and agents continue their tireless efforts to find them.
Tomlin's other children are now in the care of the city's Child Protective Services Department. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
In California, a 2-year-old boy has died after contracting E. coli at a county fair. Health officials in San Diego say 3 other cases in children have been confirmed. The children visited the Del Mar Fairgrounds between June 9th to June the 15th and reported symptoms from June 10th up until June the 16th. The 2-year-old died on June the 24th. The source of the bacteria is still being investigated by county health officials. All the children who got sick visited the animal areas or the petting zoo.
Unfortunately, when you do have livestock or animals, there is a potential inherent risk. Animals do relieve themselves. E. coli is in the feces.
We have signage placed at the petting zoo. We have personnel there that are telling people, encouraging them to wash their hands after they completed petting the animals. We have hand washing stations.
Inspectors point out the illnesses are not linked to food there at the county fairgrounds. The 9/11 police detective who demanded Congress do more for first responders died today from complications of cancer linked to Ground Zero. Luis Alvarez fought for benefits for other 9/11 first responders. The 53-year-old made headlines just a few weeks ago when he appeared before Congress alongside comedian Jon Stewart. Alvarez delivered an emotional plea asking for the extension of the September 11th Victim Compensation Fund. Alvarez was a bomb squad detective with the New York City Police Department. He was among the first responders who went to the World Trade Center on September the 11th, 2001. They spent weeks breathing in toxic air clouded with debris from the collapsed buildings. New York officials at the time told them it was safe, but many have since been diagnosed with serious illnesses and cancers.
When they get sick, they die. It is my goal, and it is my legacy to see that you do the right thing for all 9/11 responders.
As you see there, Alvarez received a standing ovation on the day of that testimony. He will now be honored with a funeral organized by the NYPD and the United States military. The growing epidemic of mass shootings in public places has led experts to often suggest that people either run, hide, and fight. And now researchers at Purdue University say run is part of the special key you need to keep in mind. Researchers used a computer model of the Columbine High School library. They focused on what happened on that day of the shooting. Researchers created several scenarios where people ran. They found fewer people died when they ran compared to when they hid. Now, part of it had to do with how far a gunman can shoot. Researchers made sure to highlight people should not always run during active shooter situations. They say organizations like schools and workplaces should have an active shooter plan, especially when it involves taking down the shooter. A major recall of fireworks made in Indiana just ahead of the busy 4th of July weekend. Grandma's Fireworks is recalling thousands of units it sold after an 8-year-old boy lost his hand in an accident. The boy and a 12-year-old were playing with a broken Talon rocket sold by Grandma's Fireworks when Ohio police say they lit the rocket and it exploded. Investigators later found the company was selling fireworks that contained more pyrotechnics than allowed by federal regulations. Grandma's Fireworks is based in Union County, which is near the Ohio state line. Parts of Beech Grove High School are a total loss after that tornado damaged the building earlier this month. That includes the Science Academy and its 3 classrooms and the Hornet Enrichment Academy, formerly known as the Media Center. District leaders shared that update on Friday. They also say the school is closed to the public as cleanup and construction continues. By now, the paint should be dry considering how hot it was today in central Indiana. People in Franklin took turns with paintbrushes to turn a wall into a piece of art and share some good vibes.
Okay, so this one shouldn't have gone over.
A brush of success in Johnson County. Paints of all colors were the tool to transforming a building wall into an artistic attraction.
Well, I'd actually seen it on Facebook, and I just thought, how much fun would it be just to come out and help paint this building and make it pretty?
The Warner family were among the dozens to participate in the Johnson County Community Foundation Color the County program. In the past 4 years, businesses, schools, and city governments have made available a place or space in need of a makeover.
Here you are, sir.
You ready? Here. Okay. People keep showing up. So our board has said we're going to continue this as long as people keep showing up and are excited about it.
After several hours outside the Richards Brick Oven Pizza building, the community converted their canvas into good vibes. Good vibes for the eyes to feast on. Looking good there in Franklin. The mural program has supported projects in Franklin, Greenwood, and Whiteland. Kyle?
Looking really good there. Turned out real nice with that mural today, and a hot job to be outside and doing some painting. And if you've got some outdoor plans tomorrow, you're going to need to take some breaks from the heat as we're going to once again go around 90 degrees. It's still in the lower 80s in the Circle City. We've got a northwest breeze right now, but it is a warm breeze at around 15 miles per hour. Look around central Indiana. We've got some 80s. We also have a pocket of some cooler temperatures. Crawfordsville at 70 degrees. That's where we had some downpours earlier this evening. Right now we can see a couple of isolated showers right now that are moving on the north and east side of Indianapolis around 465 there. One that was around Greenfield, that's kind of fizzled out at this point. Another one between Rushville and Connorsville. Again, nothing severe, just some good old-fashioned rain out there this evening. Another one that's sinking south of Covington, and portions of Fountain and Warren counties actually had some storms with some gusty winds and some tree damage earlier this evening. Again, not anticipating any severe weather tonight, and by tomorrow morning, partly sunny skies will greet you, and those temperatures, they are going to warm quickly. After starting in the lower 70s, we're already to 80 degrees by 10 a.m. Here's a check of TrueCast. We are going to have partly sunny skies tomorrow, and I think a lot of dry time here, but a little better chance of some downpours as we head into the late afternoon and evening. This is TrueCast at 7 o'clock in the evening. You can see a few of those isolated showers popping up, especially over the western half of the state. And as we go into the evening hours, a couple of those storms could be a little robust, could have some gusty winds with them, and that's why that marginal risk of severe weather is out there. But again, that's a 1 on a scale of 5, so should be fairly isolated and limited tomorrow. High temperatures, yeah, the heat will fuel some of those thunderstorms. Around 90 in Indy, 91 in Columbus, and 90 degrees in Peru. So you want to make sure that you take those extra precautions. We talked about getting in out of the heat, but also keep in mind in that hot car, look at how quickly the temperature will climb. With that temperature around 90, we'll get into the triple digits in inside the car at 10 minutes and 130 degrees within an hour. The heat index, that's going to be something to factor in too, because the humidity is not going anywhere. So those heat index values going to be close to 100 degrees here as we get into the early part of the work week. 7-day planning forecast now. We've got that chance for showers and thunderstorms. It's as high as 40% as we get into Wednesday afternoon. So that means the temperatures are still going to be on the toasty side, lower 90s and upper 80s.
You kept talking about the 90s, and I kept thinking about this would have been a great day for a lemon shake-up from the State Fair. And
a dip in the pool, and yeah, we're getting closer to fair time.
All right, I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle. Think about this. You might be showing your age, yes, your age, by the products you buy. Next on the news at 11, millennials are setting the tone for what's popular these days. That story next, right here on RTV6.
Only get yours at Zaxby's.
Some products that baby boomers have been using for decades are no longer popular. Our John Mattery shows us what millennials are shunning so that you don't waste your money.
Do you use fabric softener in your laundry? Do you eat cereal for breakfast? Well, some worry those items won't be around in another 20 years because many millennials refuse to buy them. Society blames millennials, people in their 20s and 30s, for a lot of things, including hurting some popular businesses. CheatSheet.com says many millennials refuse to buy fabric softener. They want natural cleaning products. Diamonds, as newlyweds save up for expensive homes. National brands of beer. They prefer craft beer. Motorcycles. Ever notice riders tend to be older? A lot older. Bars of soap. Millennials prefer body wash, not dad's soap. And cereal. Many millennials prefer energy bars and don't have time for a sit-down breakfast. And for the dozen that stink file, one millennial trend that's costing them a lot of money. Cheat Sheet says they don't like bulk groceries, what you find at Sam's Club and Costco. Millennials prefer Uber Eats, DoorDash, and dining out. Watching the budget, you may say, doesn't that stink? But all this may change when millennials hit their 40s and start turning into their parents. It's unlikely these items will completely disappear, but until young people start buying them, sales are likely to continue to drop. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery for RTV6.
After a 13-year hiatus, the Dixie Chicks will return with some new music. The group's lead singer, Natalie Maines, teased a new album on Instagram. The Dixie Chicks' last album back in 2006 was called Taking the Long Way. It won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. The group received both support and severe backlash back in 2003 after Maines told a London audience that they were ashamed that President George W. Bush was from Texas. More news right after this.
$10,000 furniture giveaway, Ashley Home Store.
We can't wait for this to happen. ABC's Shark Tank coming to Indianapolis. You can pitch your idea to producers at an open casting call on Tuesday, July the 16th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Doors open at 6 a.m. We have more information about all of this on the RTV6 app as well as the Indy Channel. After challenging kids to a snowball fight in the winter, the Muncie Police Department has issued a new challenge, a water balloon fight. That invitation was posted today on Facebook at 4:30 p.m. on July the 10th. Officers will meet with the community at the Heacon Park on the city's south side for a water balloon fight. According to the posting, those attendees should bring a buck of water balloons with them. I should say News Department versus Weather Department at a balloon fight.
I'm up for that. Good timing, right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I can go for a water balloon. All right, as we check out Storm Team 6 radar for you, a couple of isolated downpours. We got one of those. It's got some lightning with it that's about to move into western portions of Indiana. You can see the time of arrival there.
Thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. Nicole Griffin is back here tomorrow night. Have a good evening and have a great weekend.